We all benefit from natural resources, and we all think about them differently. When you look at this vista, what do you see? What jumps out to you? I see a collection of decisions about natural resources and how we choose to utilize them. These green circles are alfalfa pivots irrigated with groundwater. Here is an underground gold mine that will support 400 workers and families for more than 50 years. The open pit mine has been in operation for 3 decades and has at least another decade of mining left. These green trees represent a water source relied on by cattle ranchers and wildlife alike. Ultimately, this picture shows me the many different outcomes from decisions about natural resources society makes every day. My name is Trent Weatherwax, and I am fascinated by how we make decisions about natural resources. As a professional mining engineer and avid sportsman, decisions about natural resources affect my life and livelihood on a daily basis. Long-term decisions about natural resources are critical to the world that I am a part of and what I would like to leave behind. I've come to believe that every decision about natural resources comes down to 3 fundamental concepts. Science allows us to understand what natural resources are available and the impacts that are possible as a result. Every decision about natural resources is different and requires input from a multitude of scientific fields. There is an entire field of study for natural resource economics focused on placing values on natural resources, with both implicit values such as ecotourism and explicit values such as commodity prices. Different stakeholders all have different preferences on how a particular set of natural resources be managed. Developing a solid understanding of these preferences helps us to develop the compromises that all natural resource decisions require. I developed the model below to help myself understand and communicate how different groups desire a natural resource to be managed. Conservation is the desire to have the conditions of a natural resource remain the same or improve as a result of the actions of man. A common example is replanting of trees after harvest or habitat enhancement to offset losses from mining. Preservation is the desire to see the natural resources and conditions of a particular geography remain unchanged by mankind. National parks and designated wilderness are the first ideas that come to mind for most people. Other examples could be exclusion of certain industries from an area as well. Utilization is the extraction of resources that are not replaced on a human timescale. Mining is a commonly thought of example. Others include groundwater pumping beyond recharge rates and clear-cutting of forests without reclamation. Often natural resource projects are situated in unique locations with many competing uses. To myself, one of the most important aspects of any decision about natural resources is the long-term benefit to those whose lives are most directly affected. Examples of diverse types of natural resource questions that I have been a part of, from employment to public comment, are the design of mine waste systems and how they will affect the water quality and food supply of a Tanzanian village. For much of the year, there is limited locations available for fresh water, and the mine was able to finance a water pipeline for the village. The balance between environmental impacts of a large gold mine in the highlands of Papua New Guinea and the improved lives of all those who have gained access to first world medical care and education as a result. The pictured wind farm required a balance between the need for clean energy and the impacts on the landscape aesthetics and the increased mortality of seabirds. Those decisions focused on the Great Lakes need to balance the needs of North America's industrial heartland, agricultural breadbasket, 20% of the world's surface fresh water, and the desire of recreational users. One of the most debated natural resource decisions in the U.S. currently is public lands, where the outdoor recreation industry, mining, ranching, oil and gas, and Native Americans all have different desired management approaches. Ultimately, every decision will come down to the people involved, and I have strived to expose myself to as many of those diverse groups and perspectives as possible. We all have a different relationship with natural resources, and as a result, different biases and desired outcomes. I hope you will take the same interest in making long-term decisions about natural resources and join the discussion on my blog, trentweatherwax.wordpress.com.